Greetings from Fort Collins to all my friends down in the Boulder area. I regret that I could not attend the memorial for Wayne that Susan has organized for Sunday, August 18th, due to other plans. But I asked Susan if I could contribute a video of my memories of Wayne instead. And so here it is. I collected what pictures I had of Wayne and have written down my thoughts because I did not want to speak just off the cuff. So please pardon my reading from a script, but which will be followed by some extemporaneous remarks and photographs. I will always remember Wayne as one of the most dependable and capable guys I had as a friend when I was so heavily involved with the Boulder CMC group. And it was a friendship that spanned about 10 years. I can't remember when we first met, but it must have been through the CMC around 2007 or so. I had started assisting with the basic rock school by then, and I think Wayne did too. We hit it off with our mutual nerdy interest in computers, and I found out that later, despite his humble, self-effacing personality, that Wayne was a formidable programmer, and that he had had just one job most of his life, working for AT&T. He was retired by the time that we met, but he had worked there during the breakup of AT&T in the 1980s, and humorously related to me that he had actually had 3 jobs at AT&T, but that he had never had to change his desk. I got the impression that Wayne did a lot of technical support of AT&T systems and that he had an in-depth understanding of programming and of networks. So of course I begged him to help me with the Boulder website. I had taken that over as the webmaster after I joined the council around 2004 because it was in such sad shape. It was just 6 static web pages running on some free platform for Boulder nonprofits. I'd had some help from other individuals with technical skills, but none of them stuck around for more than a few months. But Wayne really took the bull by the horns and helped me with a complete redesign of the site, along with a couple of other volunteers at that time. We migrated the site to a better ISP, we got it connected to a database, and we completely redid the graphical design, which is still in use today. This allowed Wayne to construct the document repository, which has been an extremely useful and important way of keeping track of the group's documentation and keeping the schools and the annual dinner better organized. And if you've ever checked out the upcoming trips panel on the homepage down in the lower left-hand corner, that's Wayne's work. It automatically updates that section every 24 hours by pulling down the trips listed on the Boulder group at the state website. I've looked at that code that he wrote to do that, and I don't even pretend to understand it without a lot of effort on my part. I just know that no one ever contributed as much to the website, to helping the website as Wayne did, along with myself. So. Wayne was also a fun and reliable climbing partner, and I was glad I was able to help him develop his climbing skills during that time. I remember on one early climb we did together, and I led some overhang on the Flatirons where Wayne tried to follow it, but he couldn't get over it freestyle. So he whipped out his Prusik and just got over that overhang in short order, and I was impressed. As a BRS assistant, Wayne was a methodical and personable instructor who connected with the students and gained their confidence. I was very glad when I had to find someone on short notice to replace my co-leader who had gotten sick for a BRS graduation climb in May of 2011. Wayne helped lead a second party of students up the North Arête of the first Flatiron, one of my favorite climbs, which is the photograph that you're looking at right now. I was very glad when Wayne also came out to help with the Climbers Festival that the Boulder Group organized in June of 2013, and we were lucky enough to reserve the back patio of the El Dorado Canyon Visitor Center for a party after the climbing. I don't think you can do that anymore. But several of the BRS instructors, that day, what happened was that several of the BRS instructors led different CMC members at various routes that day, but I thought at the end of the afternoon, it would be a good idea to have a top rope at the supremacy slabs. And since it had no approach and was close to the visitor center and was very safe and easy for beginning climbers, even though the route is not that much beginning. It's kind of serious face climb. But Wayne immediately volunteered to hike up there and set up the top rope anchor for it, because there are no bolts. You had to build your own anchor. And I had full trust in Wayne to do just that. And a number of folks did enjoy the top rope climbing there that day, thanks to Wayne. Over the years, we often would meet together at the climbing gym, typically at Movement, where Susan often came as well. And on other occasions where we needed to discuss some technical issue about the website or something, we would meet over a beer at some local brew pub between Lafayette and Superior. So I raise a glass in memory of Wayne in those times. And I have to say that those are some of my fondest memories of working as a community on the Boulder CMC Group's activities. And I'm very glad to have known Wayne as a friend, as a co-worker, and a climbing partner. I know he will be much missed by everyone who knew him. I was very sad when I first learned of his illness, because one of my earlier climbing partners and best friends died from brain cancer in 1996. So I knew how difficult it would be for him to recover from that, if at all. I was glad that he and Susan were still able to participate in some of the CMC social activities after his initial illness before he had to leave us. And I'm sure he's in a better place now. So here are a few more stories and photographs that I've collected and would like to share with you. Next is this photograph that you've been looking at is a picture of Wayne as we neared the end of the North Arête of the first Flatiron that Wayne led up a separate party. And that's Wayne on top, I think, as we're getting ready to wrap off the top. This is a picture at the Supremacy Slabs when we had the Climbers Party in 2013. And that's a picture of all of us celebrating on the patio at the rear of the Visitor Center, the west side of the Visitor Center, which I don't think you can do anymore, but you can still try maybe. You can see Wayne in the back there in the background. And that's Wayne and Susan and Carrie Simon sitting at the back at the other table. And I have another story to tell about that involved me and Wayne and Carrie, because I remember this time when, I can't remember the exact circumstances, but somehow me, Wayne, and Carrie had been on some CMC function and we were walking back to leave afterwards, and Carrie had ridden her bike to the Chautauqua Auditorium, and she was having trouble unlocking her bike lock as Wayne and I were about to leave. I said, well, I'll help you unlock it. And then I took her key and I broke off the key in her lock. And so now you definitely could not unlock her bike. And I felt very responsible and very sorry for Carrie. But Wayne was there as well. So Wayne immediately said, hey, I got a solution. So he drove all the way back to Superior, got a small portable grinder and brought it back and helped us to cut the lock. And so what a guy, you know. And my apologies to Carrie. Carrie, I can still pay you back for that bike lock if you want. Let me know. So thanks very much, and I hope everybody enjoyed this memorial. Yeah, we all miss Wayne.